Welcome back to my channel. Let's sharpen some knives. Before I show you how I sharpen my knives, let me tell you why sharpening is actually important. You see that sharp knife is actually a safe knife because when you try to cut something hard like carrots or pumpkin and you have a dull knife, you can accidentally slip and cut yourself, while sharp knives minimize the chances of your fingers getting cut while making a salad. So if you want your knives to be sharp like this and not like this, then let's start. Here I got two types of sharpeners. First one from the left, $1 sharpener from Amazon, and the second one is actually a whetstone. I know that many people think, oh, whetstones are so difficult, I have to be a professional in order to sharpen my knife on it. But in reality, it took me only one day to learn the techniques, and it takes on average 15 minutes to sharpen a knife to perfection, and it costs like only $10, which makes it a must-have for any kitchens. Also, many people think that you can sharpen a knife with this thing, which is a honing rod, and short story, you can't, but more on that later. Before we start to sharpen, let's actually taste the sharpness of the knife that I have. It's a regular ass chip knife, and as you can see, it can cut even paper. I mean, you don't want this happen to your fingers. Now let me explain what the honing rod is for. So honing rod is for making your edge clean, making your edge flat. Every time you cut something, your edge gets rolled over, and that's why we have a honing rod which makes blade flat, which helps us to maintain the sharpness of the knife and also to prepare it for sharpening further. And what I'm doing right now is called steeling. Steeling is an absolute requirement for sharp knives. So you have to steel your knives at least once a week to maintain their sharpness. So you just take your knife at the heel at the top of the honing rod and you push it down all the way with the whole blade at the angle at which you're usually sharpening your knife, so it's between 20 to 25 degrees. Let's say you don't want to buy a whetstone or you don't have one at home, so you can buy this thing. This sharpener has 3 different stages for sharpening, or one being the most coarse and the third being the most soft. So in the first and second mode, you sharpen the edge of the knife, and the third, you polish the edge of the knife. So you make several strokes with pulling motion at each section, and you should be good to go. The only problem with this kind of sharpeners is that they don't sharpen your knife that well, meaning your knife isn't getting as sharp as it could be, and you also don't want to use your good knife with this kind of sharpeners because they tend to peel off too much steel. In the end, we got a knife that cuts through the paper, but it's not something that we're aiming for. We can do better. So it's time! For whetstone. First we have to submerge the whetstone in water for 5 to 10 minutes or until the bubbles stop coming up from the stone, meaning that it's soaked through completely. Once the stone gets wet like your mom every time she sees me, it's ready to be sharpened on. So my stone is actually 2 stones with 1000 grit and 6000 grit. 1000 grit is for general sharpening and 6000 grit is for polishing your knife. So we first start with just 1000. Using the pinch grip but with index finger on the spine of the knife, we put the knife towards the stone at a 45-degree angle, and then we get the 25 or 22.5-degree angle by measuring 90 degrees, then half 45 degrees and half again. So you push the knife against the stone, gently applying pressure with your fingers, working your way through the whole length of the knife. When you finish with one side of the knife, you can actually feel that it becomes sharper. So it's time to move the other side. You can do it with one hand, but using the other type of a grip, like this. Also very important is to apply pressure only when you're pulling the knife back to you, not when you're pushing it against the stone. You don't want to cut the stone with your knife because it damages your blade. Also, you can try using your other hand in order to use the same grip technique. Even though sharpening with your left hand can seem strange, I urge you to try it because I found it very helpful for me. Once the other side of a knife is sharp, we repeat the process, altering the sides as we go. So it depends on the sharpness of your knife or how dull it was before. With this knife, it took me 4 repetitions to get it relatively sharp. When you feel that the both sides of a knife are pretty sharp, you can move on to the higher grade stone. In my case, it's 6000. 6000 grit means that the stone is much harder and tougher, so we don't want to apply any pressure. We're just using the weight of the knife to do its work. So we have very light strokes in order to finish our knife. This stone makes the edge so fine that you can't even feel the sharpness that you felt before, but it's actually a good thing, and that's what we are looking for. Now that we sharpened one side, we also do the other, and that's practically it. Look at this clean cut. It basically glides through the paper like it's nothing, like it's butter. Now this is a sharp knife. I can do this whole day, but can it get the ultimate test of sharpness? So here I got a tomato, and you can see we have a paper thin cut, paper thin slice of a tomato. That's how I know my knife is sharp. I hope you liked this video or found something helpful here. Keep your knife sharp, and thanks for watching. Bye!